Update. Would I be the a-hole if I dumped my girlfriend over something she did when she was drunk that she doesn't remember? So I, 20 male, have been with my girlfriend, 21 female, for about 5 months now. Everything was going well, and we were both happy, or so I thought. We were out drinking together when a guy, 24 male I grew up with, turned up. For reference, I've known him probably 15 years. We used to like chill when I was 8 and he was 12. He went to school with my older sister, and I definitely looked up to him a lot. He gave me my first ever joint back in the day, and even 2 years ago, he appeared out of nowhere and stopped me getting jumped. Legit scared off like 4 or 5 guys by himself who had thrown me to the ground and were kicking me. So overall, he's definitely a good dude and has always been good to me. Well, I introduced him to my girlfriend and it turns out she already knew him. Her parents own a tattoo and piercing shop and went there to get tattoos when he was like 14. The two of them start talking and it seems all chill. I go off with my friend and let them catch up a bit. I leave the bar and head to the shop to get some cigarettes with one of my friends. Maybe a 5-minute walk away. I'm gone for maybe 15 minutes. When I come back, my girlfriend is quite a lot more drunk and in a bad mood with me. I approach the two of them and she tells me to go away because she's talking to him about his family. He says, "Don't be mean to him, he's a good guy." Then turns to me and says to come sit with them. My girlfriend rolls her eyes and basically scolds me for interrupting. My friend again stands up for me and says it's not a big deal, that they were just talking about what his family had been up to lately, and as I knew his family, it wasn't a problem if I wanted to stay and join a convo. Just then, the bartender comes over and it turns around to start ordering. Whilst talking to the bartender, I ask my girlfriend what's up, and she just says she doesn't want to talk to me. I ask what her problem is, and she basically tells me to just go away. I start getting annoyed, so I turn around and leave to the smoking area. I have a cigarette, and from here I can see her laughing and joking with my friend, so she's not in a bad mood overall, just with me. After about 3 minutes, they join me outside and he's brought me a drink. This is where the issues really start. While we were sitting down and chilling, my girlfriend starts going on about how big my friend's arms are. And yeah, they are huge. He's a personal trainer, but I don't feel like that exactly needs to be discussed. My friend sort of dismisses it and says, "Nah, I'm like obese right now." He definitely is still in great shape, he's just bulking. But then my girlfriend goes on to say how she prefers a little belly on guys, and that abs make her feel sick. This ticked me off, because I'm a fairly skinny guy and I have abs. My friend says he hates it when he doesn't have abs, and my girlfriend is like, "No, you definitely look great anyway." And my friend just laughs and says thanks. A little later on, we are at the bar again, and my girlfriend grabs his arm, says, "Jesus Christ," and starts squeezing it. We both sort of look at her as if to say WTF, and she says, "Sorry, I'm just drunk. I couldn't help myself." About 10 minutes after that, she keeps making jokes and comments to the two of us about threesomes, swapping partners, my friend has a girlfriend, and that sort of stuff. At first, we laughed it off, but it gets to the point where my friend sort of has had enough and puts his foot down and says it's not happening. My girlfriend laughs and says she was just joking. My final straw is like 20 minutes after this, she randomly just bites and then licks his arm. She's pretty wasted at this point, and we're both like, WTF is even happening? She just starts laughing hysterically, and again says I'm sorry I couldn't help myself. My friend excuses himself to the toilet, and I ask my girlfriend what her problem is. She says she's just having fun, and I'm like, "No, you're trying to bang my friend." This sends my girlfriend livid, and she starts accusing me of trying to sleep with her friend who introduced us, and who I grew up with and is like a sister to me. And then tells me she doesn't want to talk to me and storms off. I go outside, and she sat with my friend and the people who he had come with. And I head over and she loudly says, "Oh, just go away." My friend and his friends all say I'm fine and to sit down, and my girlfriend just rolls her eyes and goes off to the toilet. Shortly after, my friend pulls me to the side and I ask him what the heck is going on. He says he is just as confused as me, and says that even though my girlfriend is his type, there's no way he would go there, due to his loyalties to me and his own girlfriend. He then informs me that my girlfriend had invited him and all his friends back to hers for an after party when the bar shuts. He says he wanted to make sure I was going to be there, and he didn't want to go if I wasn't, because it would be weird to hang out with my girlfriend without me. I said I'm absolutely going to be there. We all head back, and my girlfriend seems annoyed about me coming too, but everyone is refusing to go unless I'm there too. We get in and my girlfriend pulls me in the room and we start arguing again. After 5 minutes, my friend texts me and says him and his friends have been invited to a different party and I can go with them if I want. I decline because I just want to go to bed at this point. They all leave and my girlfriend blames me for ruining the night. We eventually go to sleep. The next day, she acts absolutely fine, and like nothing even happened. She claims to have no memory of the night before and refuses to bring it up, saying, "I get witchy when I'm drunk. You already know this." Which is true. She is a bit of a mean drunk, but this feels like more than that. I don't know how to confront her when she denies any memory of anything I've written here and admits she was probably acting horrible. So I sort of just want to end it, as I'm definitely not okay with it, and it is impossible to talk about or resolve. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Mate, she will cheat on you and blame the alcohol, and ask what you're upset about. Dump and block, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You can break up with anyone for any reason at any time. You are not required to stay in a relationship. If she did something when she was drunk, that's her fault, because she decided to drink alcohol and to get drunk. It's not an excuse. Yeah, I don't even think she's telling the truth about not remembering as well. The behavior is inappropriate, even if she was drunk, especially considering the fact that she did this in front of you. This seems like the relationship equivalent of, "You're such a witch." Jeez, I'm just kidding. When the person actually means what they have said. Not the a-hole. I think she rediscovered her childhood crush, and you are now below him in her priority list. I think you're right. We have been out before, and attractive guys have hit on her and she has shut it down instantly, while being much more drunk. That is why this was such a shock to me. Also, considering the guy would happily stick his neck out for you against 4+ guys, and didn't just take your girlfriend's offer to come to her place, keep him as a friend. He might become your best bro someday. Now for the update. Thank you for all the replies. Sorry I haven't responded much, but I was working until late yesterday and by the time it finished, there was over 1,000 comments, so it was a little overwhelming. After work yesterday, I called my now ex-girlfriend and ended things. I never said why specifically, just that I couldn't see us working out as it seemed pointless as she didn't even remember the issue. A lot of crying and pleading, but when she realized I wasn't budging, she turned hostile, started calling me a pathetic loser, etc, etc. I just hung up because I didn't really want to deal with it after an 11-hour shift. She then went on to text me this. "Haha, you are freaking pathetic. You're too cowardly to even break up with your chest. You must think I'm stupid. I know the real reason is because of the other night. Sorry, not my fault your friend is hotter than you. Being around him and you at the same time made me realize how much I settled and how much more is out there. Have a nice life, honey." Followed by, "If I hit up with your friend tonight, mind your business." And then she sent a screenshot of a meme saying, "When you realize you picked the ugliest one in the friend group." So yeah, definitely some BS. Definitely knew exactly what she was doing, and definitely dodged a bullet. I sent those screenshots to my friend, and he called me. He laughed hysterically and said, "Damn bro, you really know how to pick 'em." But she's delusional if she thinks I'd leave my girlfriend over someone who acts like that. You can be pretty as you want, but if you act like dog poop, you are dog poop, and you can't polish dog poop. We had a good laugh at her expense, and he told me to call him if I need anything. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you to everyone who replied. Commented on original post, "Thanks for the update. As much this hurts and sucks, at least you dodged a huge bullet and didn't lose half of your stuff in the process. You'll find better than that trash. Your buddy's a solid good dude. Props to him." After what she did, I knew I had to end it, whether it was a mistake or whatever or not. But her trying to be hurtful actually made it hurt a lot less. Like if that's who she is, then it isn't exactly a loss. So it stopped feeling like one pretty instantly, LMAO. Yeah, true enough. Once a person shows who they truly are, it does make it a bit easier, and it hurts less. Even if it was just the drunk stuff, that's still who she's actively going to be at certain times, unless she renounces consuming alcohol. Intoxication isn't an excuse for crime. It's not an excuse for being a bad partner either. Wow, she's awful. Glad you got to see her true colors before you invested more time into the relationship. You can really tick her off by totally not responding to anything else she says, or at least very minimally. Like, "Yeah, okay, whatever you say. Best of luck to you." Yeah, I didn't even respond, LMAO. Can you update when she inevitably tries to make a move on your friend and he shuts her down? She is probably strutting around like a pigeon who poops on a chessboard thinking she won. Already happened, not much to say. She texted him saying, "Hey, it was good seeing you the other night. Would love to catch up some more X." And he just ignored her and sent me the screenshot, LMAO. How freaking tragic. Next story. Am I the a-hole for firing back at a girl with "I ask you out 3 times? I, 25 male, grew up in a relatively small village along with Amy, 25 female. We were in the same class since kindergarten right up until graduating from high school, and then we went to the same city for college. Me and Amy used to be relatively close to each other, and we confided our grievances with the world. We got each other. We gave each other advice, etc., etc. Obviously, I had feelings for her, which led me to ask her out when we were 14. I got shut down because I went about it in a really stupid way. Our friendship took a slight hit, but recovered pretty fast and it was back to Tuesday. Later on, when we were 18 and in the last year of high school, we obviously matured, and we found ourselves going into microdates to speak of, where we accompanied each other to chores around the city we attended high school in. My feelings for her flared up again, and I managed to orchestrate a pretty romantic date for us, where at the end I asked if we could dip into something more serious. She replied with her having to study for national exams and prepare for college. I accepted this and move on, keeping up the friendship. Skip a year, and we are in college in another city that is about 2 hours away with bus. Naturally, we frequently took the same bus when going between home village and college city, so in that time, we had a lot of time to talk. I remember I talked vividly with her expressing frustration with being single. At the end of that bus trip, I asked if she wanted to grab a coffee sometime, which she refused, citing college obligations. I accepted this and kept up the friendship, like nothing happened. Fast forward 5 years. We finished college 2 years ago. I found a job in College City. She moved back home. Since we didn't have the same frequency of meeting up, we fell off. I wouldn't have said I didn't consider her a friend, but we were not talking on a daily or, to be honest, monthly. I fell in love with a colleague of mine 6 months ago, and while I know we are still in the honeymoon phase, she makes my gray days bright and colorful. Neither of us use social media that much, so our relationship was pretty much only known by my close-knit friends and family, purely because we didn't care to make it everyone's business. Then, 2 days ago, my girlfriend asked if she could post a couple's pic on her Facebook, and of course I saw nothing wrong with it, and I agreed. That night, Amy messaged me with something that would translate to, "I guess you really did move on for me." I don't know if the tone is lost in translation, but it felt like it was supposed to be an insult. So I fired back with, "I asked you out 3 times. A day later, her BFF messaged me to tell me that I'm a disgusting pig that is only interested in hooking up with women. My girlfriend says that I'm nothing like that, but we could commit murder and still find the mental gymnastics to back each other up. So I would like an outside opinion. So am I the a-hole for telling a girl that I asked you out 3 times? Now for the comments. No, not the a-hole. She wanted to keep you on the back burner, and she's mad she doesn't have you there anymore. She's really unhinged at this point. It's been 5 years since I last asked her out, and she said no, and at this point they're not even in regular contact. How does she even think she gets to keep him as a backup after friend-zoning him 3 times? I don't get these type of people. Maybe it was a comfort story she'd share with her BFF. Remember that guy who asked me out 3 times? Bet is still pining for me. Not the a-hole. You asked, she declined. Seems she was thinking of you as plan B, if nothing better would appear. Got mad that you are now happy. As mentioned, not the a-hole, but we just ignore her and just don't respond if she tries to get in contact again. It's essential to prioritize your own happiness and well-being. If someone didn't appreciate your value or treated you as a backup plan, it's entirely reasonable to move forward positively and focus on the people and experiences that makes you happy. Your feelings are valid. Last story. Would I be the a-hole for calling off my engagement after my fiancé let her brother borrow and crash my car while I was out of town? So last week, while I was on a business trip, my fiancé let her brother borrow my car since he needed one for whatever reason and doesn't own one, and she was using hers to go to work. So when I came back home, I noticed the entire front bumper dented and basically destroyed. So when I went to ask her what happened, she told me that she let her brother borrow it and he drove it into a pillar by accident. Some context, my car was a gift from my dad for my graduation and has tons of sentimental value to me. So I told her I'd expect her brother to foot the bill of around $20K to get the bodywork replaced after I got an estimate from the dealership. She said she couldn't do that since her brother hadn't held a job since COVID hit and wouldn't be able to afford it. This made me even more mad than I already was. So I left the apartment and got myself a hotel room and sent her brother a message saying I'd expect him to pay for the repairs. Otherwise, I'd get lawyers involved. I'm currently considering calling off the engagement or postponing the wedding because I don't think I can trust my fiancé around anymore. After she basically loaned something worth $150K to her wildly irresponsible brother without telling me. This is after she already knows how much that car means to me, not just financially but sentimentally as well. and then proceeded to try and defend her brother because I can't afford to get it repaired while he can't. End the engagement and make sure to sue him for the repairs. Also, since he didn't have permission, I'd file a police report. Even though she gave him permission, it's not her car to do that too. I agree with this. I don't think a lot of people realize insurance follows the car and not the person driving in a lot of places. If an insurance claim is filed to fix the damage, that goes on his insurance history, not the brother's, and he'll be stuck with increased rates and claim history. Also, if the brother wasn't listed as a driver, they may not even cover it. My insurance won't cover it because he doesn't have a valid driver's license, so I had to have to file a police complaint over property damage to get them to pay for it. She'll let the brother borrow a car knowing he doesn't even have a license? Yeah, this woman is disrespectful and has no concern for your stuff. I like the idea of postponing the wedding until it's paid for by the brother or her family and then canceling it altogether. That's the only way you might possibly get any money for repairs out of that situation. Forget postponing the wedding. I would 100% cancel. OP's fiancé had no business loaning out OP's car, especially not to someone without a license. She didn't care, and from her responses to OP's very natural anger and frustration, she still doesn't. Not only is she saying she won't ask her brother to pay for the damage, she hasn't offered to cover it for him, and the brother wouldn't have been driving if she hadn't have given him the keys. Her actions are a major breach of trust, and her response shows zero personal accountability. That is not the stuff successful marriages are built on. I, 37 male, divorced my wife, 35 female, after she got cancer and cheated. Original post. My ex-wife and I were married for 10 years when she got cancer at 33, stage 1 breast cancer. She had a hard time, but with surgery she got through it. I took time off work to look after her and was with her the entire time as we had moved away from our family. I noticed that she changed a lot after, which is expected after going through something so major. She wanted more from her life than just a 9-to-5 job, so ended up quitting to travel for a bit and just doing whatever she wanted. At first, I went with her because I wanted her to be happy, and this reminded me of her younger self. But that kind of lifestyle blew through our savings, so I went back to work and basically funded her new lifestyle. While it was exhausting, I didn't care that much because I loved her, and seeing her so happy and full of life after everything she went through was good enough for me. However, one day I heard her talking to her friend over the phone about not feeling satisfied with just me, and that she wanted to sleep with other people. I was shocked and didn't know what to do, especially since our intimate life had been much more active during that time. So hearing her say that was horrible. That evening she brought it up and said she wanted to be in an open marriage. By that point, I had enough time to think and realized there was no way I was okay with that. She explained that I was her first boyfriend and that she had never been with anyone before me. We met in high school, so she wanted to try being with other people. I told her straight that I was not okay with that. We argued for a while, but she eventually said she wouldn't do anything and that she was sorry. Fast forward, she lied, and I caught her a couple weeks later. So we divorced. It was hard, and I was completely broken during the whole thing, and it took me a long time to heal. I couldn't believe that after everything, she could do that to us and throw away 10 years of marriage. It's been nearly 2 years after the divorce now, and yesterday she contacted me through a friend asking to meet up. I was reluctant, but agreed. Seeing her again today brought back so many feelings. We small talked for a bit, then she asked me if I was seeing anyone. I said I wasn't, and then she started saying that divorcing me was the biggest regret of her life. After we separated, she went through a hard time and tried to fill my void by seeing multiple other people, but nothing worked. She then dropped a bomb that she wants to get back together with me. She had actually been asking around about me before this, and when she found out that I hadn't been with anyone since our divorce, she assumed I felt the same way. I left feeling dumbfounded and saying I needed time to think. I genuinely don't know what to do, because there's a part of me that wants to believe she did all that because of everything she went through. But at the same time, I don't think that's an excuse. Should I give her a chance to explain before I make a decision? Because I feel like I walked out on her before she could. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Don't put yourself through that, man. She made her decision a long time ago. What happens the next time she gets bored? Thank you for saying that. I went through the exact same thing. My ex-husband left me for another woman. It wasn't 6 months later that he came to me wanting to come back. My heart said yes, but my mind said no. I could not go through that pain again, as I had physical pain in my heart when it happened. The trust was broken, and I couldn't get it back. Yeah, she showed her true colors. Completely agree, and I hope she read all these responses. And if you are ex-wife of OP, just a question. Truly, how many guys did it take for you to realize what you did and why you want OP back? More than 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, 200, 1,000? OP, if you were even going to think about it, ask her how many, as that might change your mind anyways. I normally did not care about a number, nor do I ask, but in this case, I do think it matters. In addition, ex-wife of OP, any of your friends who were complicit and encouraged your behavior should be removed from your life. So let me get this straight. You and her have been together since you were teenagers. Y'all built a life together. You literally nursed her through the toughest time of her life. She then gets the notion that she hasn't gotten enough out of life, but the enough was other men? So she asked to open the marriage, which most likely was in bad faith because he caught her cheating not long after. So who knows how long she was doing it? Y'all divorce and she proceeds to screw whoever her heart desires, just to realize that none of them cared about her nowhere near the way you did. So now she wants you to come back after she has had her feel in the streets and manipulate her way back into your life. And you're asking if you should hear her side of things? Well, ask yourself this. Would she be able to say anything that wouldn't do what she has done to you? Would she be able to say anything that would make you be able to trust and believe in her again? Is there any explanation she could offer that would keep you from being insecure the next time she begins to act differently? If not, then I would save myself the anguish and go about your life and work towards happiness. Good luck, OP. You forgot the part where he worked to fund her world travel and her adventures without him because one of them had to work to fund her. Imagine how many dudes she was banging while traveling on his dime. What a scumbag. She was just trying to fill the void. Now for the update. I really didn't expect this many people to reply. To cut things short, she found out. I forgot she was an active user of this sub, and the events lined up enough for her to know it was me. I woke up to a message from her this morning. She said that she saw and was so sorry. After seeing what I wrote, she got to see my side of things. But the thing is, she really didn't. What I put out here is a fraction of what I felt and went through, so she'll never really know. She also said that cancer is a life-changing thing, and the fact that I stuck with her would be something she was eternally grateful for. The whole thing terrified her, and it changed her as a person. And one day when she woke up next to some dude and looked over and realized she had become a completely different person, one that she didn't recognize, she realized what she had done and how badly she messed up. At first, she didn't want to contact me because she knew that would be selfish. But then, she didn't want to live with regret by never trying, in case there was ever a chance I would forgive her. She's willing to wait forever if it means I could forgive her. She also asked why I hadn't been with anyone since her, and a lot of you mentioned the same. To be honest, I didn't actively try with other people because I didn't want to bring all this baggage into a new relationship, especially not before I had tried to fix my issues. And I think this is a good closure for me. After seeing a lot of your replies, I know there isn't really a chance for me to forget what she did. But I do want to forgive her as a way to move on, and I messaged her all this before replying here. Next story. My 31 male, soon-to-be ex-wife 28 female wants to talk about us. But I feel like it's too late now. I 31 male, I'm divorcing my future ex 28 female. It has been a very long and painful process. We've been together for 9 years, married for 7, and the last 3 we've been separated. During our marriage, she never really treated me like I was her husband. Her parents and family always came before me. No matter what I would say or do, she wouldn't change. A few examples are, when I had broken my leg/foot, she yelled at me for days to clean out the garage until I did, even though I physically couldn't walk on my leg. Or making me walk to get my car out of the shop because she couldn't wait 15 minutes to go to her mom's house. If she didn't take me, I wasn't able to get in my car. Those are just 2 of many similar situations. For years, I begged her to start treating me like her partner and not just an accessory. I was always open with how things affected me, and I would put aside time to talk to her about things. I'm not one to hold things in and let them build up. So I told her that if the behavior continues, I would file for divorce. The worst part is being with someone that makes you feel alone, and I just can't handle that type of relationship. She swears she's worked on it, but that's only after 3 years of being separated, and we're coming up on a final hearing. I feel bad because due to her religion, she can't be remarried, and I just can't put my mental health at risk again. What would you guys do in this situation? I would tell her that it's too little too late, and that you no longer want her in your life in any capacity. Any future problems she has are, to be honest, not your problem at all. They are the result of her unwillingness to be a decent partner. Yep, OP was in an abusive relationship and deserves better. OP, if you see this, be sure to set boundaries from the start and don't tolerate any crossing of lines. Some people get way too comfortable walking on others without any consideration. Do you know that she's asking to reconcile? Is that something she's brought up in the recent past? That seems very unlikely 3 years into separation. She was asking for a lot of money and she didn't end up getting anything really. I told her if she truly wanted to reconcile, she could have done that during the divorce agreement. Instead, she was trying to squeeze as much money out of me as she could. I feel like that's the only reason she's trying to. Up until this point, I was leaning towards maybe her viewpoint had changed and circumstances will force her to grow up. And then this. Move on. As a remarried man to a different woman, I know there's a large stigma to have to work through, but your soon-to-be ex-wife isn't worth the investment on your part any longer. She's remorseful now not because she accepts her wrongdoing, but because she needs a punching bag again. She's probably realized that she's not going to find someone else who will take her abuse, and that's exactly what she did to you. So she wants to drag you back into her trap. You did well to leave. Keep going and don't look back. P.S. It says a lot about her character that her religion doesn't approve of divorce, but is seemingly okay with spousal abuse. Last story. My husband, 42 male, told me 36 female he wasn't ever attracted to me, but married me because he would have felt bad ending it. We've been together for 6 years and married for 4. No kids. For context, I'd be described as conventionally attractive and I'd take care of myself. I'm fit, athletic, well-educated, and have a fun personality. I think it's important to mention that, since there's no glaring issue for him to feel this way. My husband is successful, charming, and the type of person who gets along with everyone. Shortly after we married, we relocated from Canada to Europe for his work. I supported this and gave up a job I liked. That was essentially my career, my friends, and a city I felt really home in. Now I'm in a foreign country where I only speak the local language at a low level, trying to build my own business and have very little of a support system. I'm too embarrassed to tell my friends about this whole situation. This is where it gets interesting. On multiple occasions, he's apologized for our lack of romantic life. There isn't one to speak of, and rarely has been since we've been together. He's told me it's not normal for him, and it was different with other women in the past. He's used to being with really beautiful women. He's also said recently that he was never attracted to me in that way, but didn't want to break up with me when we first started dating. I told him he should have ended it then, because now I live a lie and gave up everything to support him. But he just suggested we have an open relationship if I wanted to meet other men, and he would even pay for a male escort. He used an old iPhone of mine a few years ago and never logged out of his iCloud. I see that he still screenshots pictures of his ex from IG. He also believes that no one is really happy in their marriage, and that romantic love is not something that lasts long term. I don't know what to do. I had to give up my job to support his career, but I never thought it would come to this. I can't support myself with my new job yet, and I don't come from a wealthy family, while he's very successful financially. My family and friends love him and think he's the perfect guy. From the outside, we're the perfect couple, but the reality is a disaster that I battle every day. My self-esteem and confidence have taken a nosedive. I could just ignore everything and live a comfortable life, but I would be living a lie. And he thinks we should stay together because we get along in every other way. I know no relationship is perfect, but this is so far beyond normal that I'm not sure how to deal with it. I've suggested therapy, but he says that doesn't work. He wants to stay together and basically stay as partners. So, anyone been through this or have advice? Take some of the money's offering for you to hire escorts and buy a one-way ticket home. Re-establish your career and make a life for yourself. Why would you want to stay with somebody who regrets marrying you? You deserve better. This is one thing that really bothers me. Him offering that is like saying she can't have someone if she's not paying. That's sick. For me, he is trying to break her confidence so she doesn't leave. And he can have the face of the perfect marriage without having to actually be in a relationship. There is no emotional support. He's being cruel. For me, he is trying to break her confidence. Yes, his comments sound like negging or like the bashes people with severe narcissistic trait do. His statements likely aren't even true, but a tactic to bring her down. She's in a foreign country, somewhat isolated, without funds or a career, and now he attacks her self-esteem. OP, run if you can. If you are in Germany and feel comfortable, please feel free to contact me, and I'll take a look with you what your options here may be. Please keep in mind that those tactics, isolation, financial independence, attacking your self-esteem can be a warning sign for domestic abuse. These things do not necessarily lead to physical harm, but no physical harm without those things. Don't go looking for a way to stay with them, especially no therapy. Therapy with people that hit so low verbally will only lead to them having more fodder to attack your self-esteem, or even Darvo in therapy speak. Please find a will to leave. A way will show up then. If you stay, you'll be giving up on yourself. You'd be giving up the possibility of ever being with anyone who thinks you're beautiful. You'd be giving up on finding someone who feels lucky to have you. Don't settle for a settler. I agree with this. OP, you're 36, so we are close in age, and it's never too late to start over again. Your whole marriage is a lie, and these years have been wasted. But don't deny yourself the chance of a better future. Please don't give up on yourself, OP. I was going to add too, that 36 is not too old at all to start over. Divorced my first husband at 35 and just married the love of my life at 45. I'm 46 and couldn't be happier. Future you will appreciate you ending things now. Me too. I was 40 when I left my first husband after 16 years. Long story, but I was miserable because of how he treated me. We had 2 little kids. I was married and never felt so alone. I met my soulmates and remarried at 43. I'm 48 now, and life is grand. It was hard in the beginning financially and emotionally, but it was so worth it.